Okay, people of the internet, last night I had a mind-blowing realization about the music production software that I use, Logic Pro, and I'm still in shock. Let me tell you a little story, right? Almost every well-produced song that comes out in the past 20 years has pitch correction on it, on the vocals. Right? Almost every single song that you love, if it's good enough to be on the radio, it probably has pitch correction on it if it came out in the past 20, 30 years. That's the reality of how music production works. That's a separate conversation that we could get into about how most people don't understand how pitch correction works, and even an amazing singer can still benefit from pitch correction, because if your vocals are pitch corrected so that they're pretty much perfect, then they will blend in with every other harmony in your song perfectly, instead of clashing in like micro dissonance by each harmony track being slightly off tune. If all of your vocal tracks are perfectly in tune, then your mix will sound better, your song will sound more professional, and that has nothing to do with the skill of the singer. Obviously, if the singer sucks, you have to fix it with pitch correction, but even good singers benefit from pitch correction. That's a separate discussion, because all singers benefit from having pitch correction in their mixes. I, of course, have used pitch correction, especially on harmonies that I record, vocal harmonies, for most of my YouTube career. With that being said, almost every producer in the world uses one of two brands of pitch correction. And those two brands of pitch correction, it's kind of like how almost everybody has an iPhone or a Samsung. So Melodyne by Ceremony is one of the most popular forms of pitch correction, and the second most popular form of pitch correction that you have probably heard of. It's not a type of pitch correction, it's a brand of pitch correction, is Autotune. Antares Autotune, which you all know about. Everybody's heard the word Autotune. But calling all pitch correction Autotune is like calling all phones iPhones. It's not correct, right? That's a separate discussion. But most people think that all pitch correction is Autotune, and it's not. Autotune is like the iPhone of pitch correction, and Melodyne is like the Samsung of pitch correction. Almost everybody in the world uses one of these two brands of pitch correction. Since I put out a vocal cover every single week on YouTube, and I produce many of them myself, I have bought both of these. And I don't even want to show you how expensive these are. The cheapest version of Melodyne is $50, but of course normally it's $100. But I believe that I have the $500 version of Melodyne that I've been using for the past 5 years. Autotune, let's find out how much Autotune is, because I bought this too, and $400. So, I have spent over $1,000 on pitch correction software to use in my music production. That's fine. I've spent more money on guitars. I've spent more money on keyboards. Like, it's usual for professionals to spend a lot of money for their tools. Now that I have set the stage for how fucking expensive this stuff is, yesterday I found out that all of this was allegedly a huge fucking waste of money. Flex pitch, even my Twitch chat knows about this, and I didn't. I have talked many times on my stream about how Logic Pro is my favorite music production software because of all of the amazing features that it comes with, right? All of the great, efficient, and powerful tools that Logic Pro has. Last night, I found out that Logic Pro has possibly the best pitch correction software that I have ever used built in. That's right. I have spent over $1,000 on pitch correction software, and there was already pitch correction software that came with my $200 Logic software, and it's possibly better than all of the ones that I have used. So we're going to test this. We're going to put this to the test. I'm going to sing something, and I'm going to show you guys what the process looks like of tuning the vocals, pitch correcting the vocals with Autotune, pitch correcting the vocals with Melodyne, and pitch correcting the vocals with Logic Flex Pitch. Okay, so what should we sing? What should we sing, you guys? We are going to sing Happy Birthday, and then we're going to pitch correct it with Melodyne, Autotune, and Logic Flex Pitch, which I just discovered has been on my computer for free for the past 6 years, and I didn't know about it, and I spent almost $1,000 just for Logic Pro, or excuse me, I spent almost $1,000 for Melodyne and Autotune put together, and more money for other tuning softwares that I've bought. We're gonna turn on my reverb here, and we're gonna sing Happy Birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. So we sang Happy Birthday, and now we're gonna pitch correct it. Is it actually your birthday today? What the f***? Why didn't you tell me before I sang Happy Birthday? You bitch. Oh, you lied? You bitch. We're gonna pull up Autotune here. We're gonna pull up Autotune and do some learning together. I'm not very good at using Autotune, but I'm gonna do my best. So first, we're gonna use the automatic Autotune feature, and I'm just gonna show you what it sounds like. Happy birthday to you. So if we change a couple settings here, we can maybe make this sound a little bit less robotic. We can turn the retune speed down to like 40 or 50, and we can turn up the natural vibrato, and let's see if that works a little bit. Happy birthday to you. It didn't work at all. So because I was singing with vibrato, it automatically like f***ed up all over the place on me. Since I have to fine tune it because my vibrato is too confusing for Autotune to auto-tune it, we have to let Autotune, this is important. I can't just not sing with vibrato and then tell it, you know, it's not letting me tell it that I have vibrato is what I'm saying. Since we have to fine-tune this by hand, which is what you do with Melodyne as well, I have to let Autotune listen to what I sang and then manually edit what the notes are. This is very important. This will be important later. Watch how this works. So I start at the beginning, I track, and then we hit play. Happy birthday. Wow, this is pretty boring, huh? Would it suck if we had to listen to a whole song this way? Yeah, and wouldn't it suck if you had to make changes to what I recorded? If I wanted to re-record one of these lines and I had to go back in and make changes, and then I had to delete all of the pitch correction that I did and restart and let it scan just like we did all over again, but instead of it being a 30-second clip, it's a 4-minute long song. Wouldn't that suck if I had to do that, Twitch chat? Remember that. That'll be important later. I don't know how to do this well enough. I've only used this program like a couple times. There it is, make notes. So now I have to find my spot, we have to go back, we have to listen to this, and we have to correct it. Happy birthday to you. That already f***ed it up. What can I do to fix this? Yeah, that's doing a horrible job of getting the vibrato on my voice. Okay, so Autotune has failed the test. Just because I'm singing just because I'm singing with vibrato, Autotune has failed the test. Now let's do Melodyne. And I might be proven wrong here. We might very well find out that Melodyne is the best. But Melodyne is definitely not the most efficient, and you guys are going to see why. So when I go into Melodyne here, there's no notes. Oh no, I have to do the exact same fucking thing again. We had to let Melodyne scan the whole song again. Imagine if that was a 4-minute long song and I had to listen to that entire track, but it's 4 minutes, just so that the program knows what notes I'm singing so that we can get in and start editing. Now, Melodyne I have used a lot, and Melodyne is much more subtle, and it's better at keeping vibrato. So what we can do here is I'm going to cut up these different like slides and shit that I did, and then once I have the slides cut up, then we can go in here and we can kind of just expedite this and do select all. We're gonna pitch correct everything, and we're gonna snap to D or to G major, which is the key of the song that we're in, and then we're gonna kind of correct a little bit of vibrato, and then we're gonna listen and see how this sounds.
Happy birthday to you.
Much better, right? You see how it kept my vibrato there? You see how it kept my vibrato right here? It kept my vibrato. That's very important. It fixed the center of the vibrato, but it kept the vibrato. So the vibrato is now in key properly. Now, Brandon is raising an interesting argument. There is a version of Melodyne that updates in real time. It's called ARA Melodyne, and it uses some fancy new tech so that you don't have to sit here and let the entire song scan. You can just do the pitch edits right away, and it edits and it scans the audio as you go. But there's a problem with that. It fucking crashes my session, and it corrupts my session. It completely fucks my session. For whatever reason, when I use the ARA version of Melodyne, it actually destroys everything. So that is not on the table. Although, in a perfect world, it would be. Brandon, thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for reminding me that the best version of Melodyne, for some reason, whenever I edit a track or put new regions into it, completely fucks my projects. So Melodyne obviously did a great job, and it was fast, but I still had to scan the entire audio. The Melodyne one sounds great. We had to let Melodyne scan the audio, which would have taken an insanely long time if we had 10 different tracks and we had to scan all of them. And then it would have taken even longer if we had to go back in and make changes. And then if we wanted to export the stems to people, we might need to turn off the tuning or turn it back on again or print the audio. And it's fucking complicated and it's a pain in the ass. So, Melodyne, better than Autotune for preserving the reality of the vocals, better at keeping the vibrato, better at not sounding like a robot. The last option is Logic Flex Pitch. We're gonna put Flex Pitch on here, and oh, what was that? Did you guys see that? I hit the button, and before I could finish my sentence, it's already fucking scanned. It's already fucking scanned my fucking shit, and it already knows what fucking pitch I'm singing. We can go into this editor, we can press the E key, which is conveniently built into Logic Pro. We can go to track, and we can go to view the flex pitch. Well, what do you know? What do you know? It's right fucking there.
Happy birthday.
And then we can select all, and we can just do pitch correction. And by the way, I've been using Melodyne for like 6 or 7 years. I have been using Logic Flex Pitch for less than an hour total. And watch how convenient this is going to be. So we pitch correct everything. We snap it to the key of G major. It's preserving all of my vibrato. It's allowing me to go in and make the edits that I need to make. So, already, I've never fucking used this before, and already, we're almost as good as Melodyne. You gotta remember that I didn't have to wait to start making these pitch correction edits. I didn't have to let it scan for 5 minutes for the whole song. I could just immediately get in here. And this comes with Logic Pro, which is $200. And it comes with this, and it's almost as good as Melodyne, which you have to have Logic Pro or another DAW to use Melodyne, and Melodyne is $500 for the full music producer version. This is gonna save me so much fucking time. In fact, there are songs that I have put out on my YouTube channel, cover songs where I had a deadline, I had other things that I needed to work on, I was rushed for time, and I just didn't pitch correct the song at all because I didn't have time. And I didn't want to have to sit here and pitch correct a bunch of different layers of vocals in Melodyne because it's not an efficient process. But now I will never have to make that excuse again because I can just fucking turn on flex pitch and just fucking fix it. If I decided that I wanted to send these vocals to another producer, if I wanted another producer to have the raw vocals, so I need to turn off the pitch correction, boop, it's off. And now it's back on. And now it's off. It's right there. It's right fucking there. It's built in. What have we learned? What have we learned? We've learned that now I can pitch correct directly in Logic. It's integrated with the Logic keyboard shortcuts, which I use religiously to speed up my process. We've learned... Shut up, Brandon. We've learned that I don't have to scan the audio. So, like, just to put this in perspective, Caleb could be here and sing something, and I could have it pitch corrected before he's done taking a sip of water in between takes. I could be able to hear what that Caleb take will sound like with pitch correction on it through this flex pitch before he's done drinking out of a water bottle. Autotune or Melodyne, I would not be able to do that. And with a real-time pitch correction plugin like Waves Real-Time Autotune, Waves Real-Time Tune, Waves Tune Real-Time, which is another different brand of pitch correction, I could pitch correct the stuff as we go, but it wouldn't sound as good. So this is gonna save me a ton of time. The moral of the story is to never stop exploring and learning your hobbies, the stuff that you do, the tools that you use. Always be on the lookout for new ways to use the tools that you love to use for your hobbies or for your job, because you might be wasting thousands of dollars and a ton of time using the wrong tool without realizing it. Even if everybody else in your job field or hobby is using that tool, it might be the wrong tool for the job for you. Melodyne, Autotune, both are incredibly great programs. This is not me talking shit about Melodyne or Autotune. They are both incredibly powerful, and I know many, many music producers who have put out amazing work using both Melodyne and Autotune. That's not the point of this video. The point of this video is, for my personal process, which is heavily integrated into the Logic Pro user interface and requiring speed and efficiency as a top priority, I had always assumed that my only options for good pitch correction softwares were Melodyne and Autotune because that's what everybody else used. After 7 years of using Logic Pro, after thinking that there were no more hidden little nuggets of coolness, valuable hidden gems, after 400 cover songs that I have used Logic Pro to record, I just learned about this last night. Crazy. I'm in shock. And I hope that watching me waste all of my time and explain it to you will one day help you to not waste your own time.